This is Jason Morse from the Crypto Crew, and I'm talking to Dave, whose last name is being withheld. So Dave, I understand that you had an interesting thing happen.
Yeah, you did call it that. It was actually, to be honest with you, it was sort of a surreal. I wouldn't say frightening, but it put a good jolt into me. Happened last Monday afternoon up in Jefferson, Hampshire. It was quite a thing. I can say that. Took me up pretty good. To be honest with you, I haven't really slept well for it in the past. It's getting better. The first couple of nights after it happened, I found myself waking up repeatedly. Just not like that, having just trouble going to sleep, just thinking about what I saw and thinking about actually if it was what I thought it was. So yeah, I can go into full detail with it. What happened? It was something. I'll be quite honest with you.
How can you describe what the events that took place?
Yeah, this past week we were on vacation. My wife, my two boys, and another couple and their children planned to get away to Santa's Village up in Jefferson, Hampshire. And you may be familiar with Santa's Village, very popular destination for families during the summer.
Yep, I sure am.
About 2 years ago, with another couple, we rented a cabin up at this cabin by the name of Jocelyn's Cabins, which is off of Route 2, and I believe it's on North Street or North Road in Jefferson, which is right around the corner from Santa's Village. So we got up there on Sunday afternoon, and got to Santa's Village. They have a little thing where I won't go into detail, but if you go up there after 4 o'clock, you get a pass the next day. So we got up there around 3:30, 4 o'clock, checked into the cabin, went to Santa's Village, went to bed, got up the next morning, went to Santa's Village around, I'd say 9:30, 10 o'clock when it opened. And the day became kind of unsettled. There was a lot of reports on the phone that there were rainstorms coming, etc. So we decided to cut the trip short around 2:30, 3 o'clock. There was a lot of clouds rolling in, and being in the White Mountains, you could see the clouds rolling in fast. So we went back to the cabin and got the kids settled in there. And my wife and her friend decided they didn't have enough macaroni and cheese to make for the kids for supper. And there was a general store probably about 2 or 3 miles away that they went to. And they weren't rushing back. They were, we'll be back, take a ride a little bit to see what else was over there. Because the person who went up there was new to the area. She really didn't know. She was looking to see if they could find like a bigger store or something. So this left myself, my 2 children, her friend's husband. They also have 2 daughters that are the ages of my sons, and they have a little 2-year-old boy. So it was kind of overcast. The sky was threatening, so we, in front of our cabin, we were staying at the Christmas cabin, and there's a huge front yard, grassy area that abuts a gravel road, and we brought the kids out there. We had a soccer ball, we had a wiffle ball bat, wiffle ball. So we had the kids out there playing, and for a good maybe half an hour or so. Then it started to rain out a little bit, and the older kids just wanted to go inside because they had iPads and games and whatever, so they didn't want to get too wet. So this left my wife's friend's husband and the 2-year-old and myself outside, and the cabin has sort of an overhanging, I would say it's an upper sort of balcony. You can sit on that overhangs the front porch. So under there, it was nice enough out where the rain wasn't too hard, but it was refreshing. It was a hot day. So maybe about 10, 15 minutes later, the rain subsided to sort of a drizzle. So we went back down to the front yard to get the soccer ball, the wiffle ball, and all that. So as soon as that happened, I kind of like looked off in the distance, and as I mentioned, this abutted a little gravel road, and now on the other side of the gravel road, there's a little wood bridge that was probably anywhere from 8 to 10 feet long, and maybe 4 to 5 feet wide, enough to get a car over, and there was a little stream that runs underneath that. And across, well, on the other side of the bridge was this grassy area, which is the back, not so much the back of the cabin, but it's just a grassy area between the cabin, this thicket that was to the left, and then this thicket to the right. There's a cabin in back of that thicket. So I'm looking over at the truck, and this blue pickup truck was an old beat up, I don't know, Ford, Chevy, whatever it may be, facing me. And I thought I saw something kind of just, you know, you think your eyes playing tricks on you. So I diverted my eyes from the truck, and as soon as I did that, I was the little boy or whip was pretty much near my, within 5 feet of me. I went to grab a ball to give it to him. I saw something get up and take, I don't know how many steps, but there was a large black figure that looked like a man, and it was dragging its right leg and sort of limp, and as it got up, it kind of was reaching with its arms. And the only thing I can compare it to, and I mean, this is from watching, like, not so much based on Bigfoot, but National Geographic things where you've seen maybe like a sloth, kind of with the long arms, kind of like when it reaches, but that's what it reminded me of. It was like a swimming, reaching motion. And I literally just stopped doing what I was doing. I double took, and it was gone. And so right after it happened, my wife's friend's husband, he looked at me and he goes, "You all right?" He goes, "You all right?" He looks like you look sick. I go, "No, I'm fine." I go, I didn't let on that I saw or anything. He goes, "You look like you're gonna pass out." I'm like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna pass out. I just don't feel good right now." So I didn't tell him what I saw, and within 5 minutes, my wife and her friend came back. And as we're helping them out of the car with the stuff that they bought, my wife's looking at me. She goes, "You all right?" I go, "Well, I gotta tell you something." I go, "I saw something." She goes, "What do you mean you saw something?" I go, "There was something behind that truck over there that got up, walked away, and it wasn't an animal. I mean, I've been to New Hampshire. I've actually, a couple years ago, 3-4 years ago, we were up at another location right around the corner from Storyland where we had a mother and a cub walk right through our property we were on. And I've seen bears, and it wasn't a bear. And I told her, I go, I just, something was not right. And I told her I didn't tell the people who went, because honestly, I've only met these people in the past year. I don't want them to think I'm crazy and such. That it's just that I didn't want anything was going on mentally with me. As weird as that sounds. So
trust me, I know exactly what you mean.
it sent an absolute chill down my spine. So that night. Now, I'm trying to play it off. I honestly wanted to get my wife and kids and just get the hell out of there. That's how hard it hit me. And I was probably, the next morning, I kind of measured it out. I have size, 10 and a half feet. And I counted about 250 steps from where I was standing to where I saw this thing get up. And I took some pictures, and just kept them on my phone. So to go back to the night that it happened, they want to have a campfire out in front of. We have a big fire pit, so we want to have a campfire. And reluctantly, I was like, I'll go off. I had my flashlight with me, just looking around, and like, you're all right here. You're driving us crazy because you have the flashlight. Well, I hear things, all right? And I was just kind of playing it off. So we went to bed, and now we like I said, the cabin stayed at 2 floors, so we had the kids in one room, and my wife and I stayed on the top floor towards the front of the house where the balcony was. And I just found myself waking up, like, literally, after I went to sleep around 3 o'clock, like every 15 minutes, just looking out the door onto the balcony, just out of a nervous nature. So the next morning, I got up. This is when I counted up the steps. I took some pictures, and got out and came home. So I was just out of curiosity, I went online, Googled Bigfoot, Jefferson, New Hampshire, and one of the first things that came up was Crypto Crew website, where there was a sighting and tracks back in 2012, and that's when I was like, wow, I go, maybe I should reach out to the folks over there to, not so much to back my story up, but help me understand maybe what I saw, and that's how it got to this point. Just a really weird situation. Like I said, the thing I saw, now I'm sure you may have seen the pictures, the pickup truck that was facing me kind of had some wood support built up that went probably, I would say anywhere from 6 to 8 inches above the top of the truck. And this thing was level with that. So I'm 5'10", I would say, at least 7 feet. I'm not one to say, this thing was 9, 10 feet tall. It was a good 7 feet, but I saw it good enough to draw a visual of it. It was that distinct in my mind. And like I said, this probably only lasted 15 to 20 seconds, but it happened almost in slow motion. Just to the point where I saw this thing. It didn't even, and the other thing is too, there was no eye contact made, which now I'm thinking, after the fact, I'm like, this thing was probably sitting there watching me, my kids, and my wife's friends' family's kids do what we're doing for, half hour, 45 minutes, and then it may have seen me peering in at the truck, and as soon as I took my eyes off that truck, it decided to jettison off to as I wrote, it was on a 1 o'clock direction that it went. So I'm only seeing this thing from the side profile. And the next morning, when I did go out and take all these pictures, and believe me, I did this all within 5 to 10 minutes. I didn't go looking for anything, but one thing I noticed is where this thing went into, there is a wire fence that separates the cabin properties from a neighbor that has, I believe there was 3 strands. It wasn't barbed wire, it was just wire that went up probably to my waist. So whatever this thing was, went at 1 o'clock into that field that was on the opposite side of that wire and cleared it. I mean, maybe jumped or whatever, but that was that. Where this thing, and like I said, we were outside playing, so we would have saw someone walk down to this area where this truck was, because we're out there for 45 minutes, and I don't see anybody going down there. The rain, like I said, was heavy, but it wasn't a torrential rain, but it was heavy enough where if it was someone going to do something, it was just the wrong time to be doing it. And the area to the left of the truck that I was looking at is just thicket. It's brush. So nobody would have been coming from this brush, through the brush, to get to where they were going. So it's just so many odd things. Whatever it was, if it was a person, it doesn't make sense the person would be walking through this thicket to get where they were getting. There was just too many odd things about the area that would make it possible for a person. I wouldn't say possible. It would make it just a normal instance for a person to be doing. And the other thing is, if it was someone screwing around with us, I think they would try to be more visible than what they were, than the position that they were in. Because if you were going to be doing something like that, I kind of think you would have had all the kids out there.
Right.
Trying to pull that off to scare the kids. But like I said, there was four kids in the house, and there was 2 adults and a baby, and a toddler outside. So it just doesn't. A lot of things just don't make sense to me. And like I said, once I came home and I just started looking online at things, and I've seen shows with Bigfoots and Sasquatches, but I'm not one that's ever been, it exists. It doesn't exist. I watch if it's on TV. I'm a casual. It's on TV a lot now. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but on a Sunday night, there's nothing else on. You see programs, and it's pretty much it's like not an inundation, but there's a lot of stuff out there, and I just listen, I'm not out to gain any fame by this. I had an experience that I can't explain that literally paralyzed me with, not so much paralyzed me with fear, but it shook me up to a point where you start questioning your mind and what your mind can do. So I'm very still, like I said, I've been better. It's been a week and a day now, but it's, I'll stay awake at night before I go to bed just thinking, what the hell did I see? And, just a very, very odd thing.
Aside from you said that it was around the 7-foot tall range. That's a guess. I mean, I would say, when I went to that truck, my head was probably like a foot away from the top of the wood, and this thing was level with the top of the wood. So I would say that's a good guess. 10, 12 feet, absolutely not. But I would say the size of a basketball player. I mean, that's the only thing I can compare it to. All right. So you could safely say between 6.5 to 7.5 feet.
Absolutely.
Somewhere in that area.
Absolutely. And the thing that got me was the lake was dragging.
Yeah, that is an interesting feature.
Almost like a club foot, but it's just, what I could compare it to was how, if I'm sitting down for a long time and I got up and I was favoring my right leg while I was laying, like doing a crouching position,
yeah,
it would be kind of asleep when I got up. That's what it kind of looked like. But like I said, this only was the amount of seconds I saw her fall, but it was a very, very distinct thing. That, and I just remember the arms kind of like swinging. Like it was almost like I think I wrote it was like a lumbering glide. It was very fluid yet clumsy.
Yeah, I read the written report, and you gave it a similarity to like a swimming motion.
Absolutely.
Yes. So both arms were going out in front of it at the same time, or one arm at a time?
All I saw was the 2 arms go out. Yes, like one arm went out, and then the other arm quickly followed it, and then, like I said, it was gone. So it was a weird motion.
Could you estimate a weight, you think? I mean, was it really bulky football player looking? Or?
It wasn't bulky. It was very fit. It was, like I said, I only saw her from the side.
Yeah.
So to guess a weight on the thing, that would probably be ignorant on my part. But it was just, it looked man-like. It was a very, it looked felt. That's what it not muscular, but it just looked. Okay. It looked like it was. It just looked like a man. But as far as a weight, I couldn't even begin to guess how much it would have weighed.
But you would have considered this subject to be athletic.
It looked absolutely athletic. just from the bad right leg or wherever it had aside, it was very like, yeah, very athletic. And the other thing I noticed too, there was no like I said, I couldn't really see the face opening of the head, but I could see the head to the side. It looked like there was no neck. And when I say no neck, you could see like the neck and the head on the back, but from where I saw like the side profile of where the chin would be, it kind of all blended into where the chest was. So pretty much from the mouth down just went like right into the chest. Like I said, I saw it from the right hand side, so who knows what I was looking at, but it was just like I said, it was very the front of it was more unnoticeable to me. I definitely got a better view of maybe like I wouldn't say the total right side profile, but probably from like a 1 o'clock view on.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess a weight or anything would be, I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, that's fine. So, what was your first reaction when you saw the thing walk away? Like, what was your feeling at the moment?
I just looked at it and I'm like, and at the time, you would say, oh, if you had sunglasses on, maybe, but I had no sunglasses on. There was no reason to have sunglasses on. It was raining out.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me, like I said, when someone comes over to you and asks you, are you all right? You look like you're gonna pass out. I mean, I'm just thinking about now. It kind of like sends like a chill down my arms. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. I really didn't. At first I'm thinking, maybe it's like, you put kids around you, maybe it's some pervert trying to look at your kids or something. But then I'm like, it wasn't a person because they had no clothes on. And that's, it was, now that I think about it, it's like, shit, I go, it definitely was something I've never seen before, let's put it that way. And after I looked at the report that Tom did, and I never realized the overhead view of where Jefferson is, whatever this thing was heading in the direction of, I don't know what state park it is, but there is a mount, I can't think of the name. I looked at the map, I'm like, it was heading in that direction. It was heading towards the field where you could cross the street, and then, I mean, up there is all woods anyways, but even more so, there is a state park up there as well, but I can't think of. I mean, one of probably, a handful of state parks, but it was just distinct how the map kind of like, wow, there's a lot of real estate up there for something to disappear into.
There certainly is. There's a lot of people out there don't really realize just how rural and uncharted parts of New Hampshire are. But
absolutely.
Could you see from your point of view, did it look like it definitely looked like it had no clothes on, you said, but did it look like it was covered in hair?
It was definitely black. Oh, it was definitely black. This thing was black from top to bottom. And it wasn't like shaggy. It was just, this thing just looked, it was just a big black mass. Very like, I wouldn't say like well kept, but it just didn't look like Cousin It. I mean, if that's the look, if I can compare it to that, I'm looking at it from a distance, but it didn't look like it was this big ball of hair, a big ball of fur.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely see, from my point of view, I could see the legs, I could see the back, I could see like almost like the side back of the head, and I could definitely see the two arms, and that's what kind of, the arms are the thing that really stick out to me because of, your bears or whatever have, it's just, the arms were long, they weren't like down, they weren't like long arms, but they were long enough to compare them to being human-like. I don't see like a bear having arms of like that size. I don't know. When I saw it wasn't there. Absolutely not. And the thing that I regret is just not having enough guts in me the next morning to just stick around and look and see if I could see anything else that maybe this thing left behind, because after talking with Tom, I kind of think I missed a golden opportunity to further my case that I did see what I saw. There'll always be people that will question you. I've only told two people. I've told my wife and I've told my brother. I wouldn't that's based on my kids that whole day until the rest of the day until that night and the rest of our vacation. And people ask me how my vacation was. Oh, it was great. Absolutely great. And it was, but I don't dare tell people what I saw because I don't want to be ridiculed for it. But it's something I'll never forget. Most definitely.
Well, I can not only understand, but I can I know exactly what that feels like, the fear of people thinking you're nuts or crazy or any of the other popular descriptive terms for someone that claims that they saw a 7+ foot tall, hair covered, two-legged creature.
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate that. It's just like I said, it's I like to kid around with my kids and just play jokes on them and stuff. And this is something I would never joke with them about because they get it. But I saw something and I just really can't explain what I saw. And
well, I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm just going to come right out and ask: do you think that what you saw, most likely, from what you know about the subject, do you think that chances are you saw a Sasquatch?
Absolutely. I can't say with 100% conviction, but you ask me probably 10 times, I'm going to probably tell you 9 times I believe I saw a Bigfoot.
And that's why we're here.
I don't know what else it could have been. And like I said, there was no reason for anybody to be joking around with us up there. It's a pretty, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a very family-oriented setting. There's some good real estate between each cabin up there. There's a lot of brush that surrounds these cabins. There's a lot of areas that you can't get to without going on a gravel road or through grass or whatever. So, if it was a bear, I've never seen that type of bear in my life. Around here, maybe a grizzly bear. I don't know, but I've never seen a black bear that looked like that or moved like that on 2 legs.
Yeah, generally a black bear wouldn't reach that height even on the 2 back legs. I mean, they have. Generally, they don't get that large.
No, that was like I said, it was just that. If you're from this area, you know what a bear looks like, and
right.
It wasn't a bear.
So you would also feel safe to assume that after the time that you spent in that area, and I'm going to assume you're probably not a wildlife expert, but just in your opinion, do you think that the surroundings and the habitat in that area is vast enough and rich enough to support
100%.
A creature that size?
100%. There was just, like I said, as a child, and as you get older, you start realizing and appreciating things that are close to your home. And I'm not a country boy; I'm a city boy. I grew up in the city. But when you go up to these places and you drive from where you're living to these places, and you realize while you're driving on the sides of these mountains with the tree lines and everything, and then when you get to your cabin and you realize you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Really, I mean, there's really nothing up there. And the first day we were up there, this is before everything happened, we're hearing all these like howls and stuff, and it's just coyotes just going nuts, and it's stuff you just don't hear. But it's like these things are out in the woods. You don't see them, you can hear them, but that doesn't mean nothing else can sustain a life out there. And there's just plenty of real estate. It's just the amount of rivers and streams and that's much that. The amount of farm area that's up there.
Right.
If I was an animal, I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't believe I would have to go after other animals. They'd probably get fat and healthy off of eating people's crops. But it is. It's a very healthy environment for. Believe me, if it was nice enough year round, and I didn't have a home, I'd probably put a tent out in the middle of the woods myself and just live off the land. But yeah, definitely, I think it's just so vast up there. There's just a lot of uncharted, not so much uncharted territory, but a lot of territory that's able to maintain some sort of creature living up there.
Yeah, I usually refer to it as unpopulated territory.
Absolutely.
That's the term I usually use anyway. But was there anything else that you wanted to add?
Well, like I said, I'm not out any fame and fortune by this. I just needed someone to share my story with, and I think I found the right folks. It's just something. They said two other people besides myself know, and it feels good being able. It's sort of therapeutic being able to tell people what you saw, because if my wife, she believes me, which I think anybody's significant other would. But it's just tough, like I said, to try to tell anybody else besides the two people that have told without being laughed at. So, like I said, it is pretty. I find this is therapy, being able to talk to people that are in the same mind frame that I'm currently in.
Well, I'll speak for Tom and definitely for myself and the rest of the crypto crews and say that I appreciate you sharing the story with us.
Thank you.
It's a great account, and a lot of things that you've said are things that I know to be accurate. So, thank you for coming forth and contacting us, and the willingness to do this interview is greatly appreciated, and I'm sure that all the folks that wind up listening to the interview will appreciate it as well.
Well, I thank you, and there is.
So once again, this is Jason with the Crypto Crew, and this has been an interview with Dave and his sighting from Jefferson, New Hampshire. It looks as though New Hampshire may once again creep up the ladder for one of the hotspots for Bigfoot Sasquatch activity.